December is upon us, which means it's time for the Holly Jolly Holidays, filled with food, family, and presents under the tree. And inside those presents is Switch Game! That's right, we're here to talk about Switch games in 2023 one more time, because we have 5 new Switch games for you to get in December. Whether it's your first time hearing about them or have been looking forward to them all year, let's talk about 5 new games on the Nintendo Switch. We are starting with Pokemon, but instead with Dragon Quest Monsters. And probably better, Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. Dragon Quest fans get to play this new title if they want to get their Pokemon fix in. In Dragon Quest Monsters, Sorrow, the protagonist, is cursed and no longer can harm monsters in the land of Naderia. So instead, he must work with monsters and become a monster wrangler and create an army of these critters. Control all sorts of monsters from the Dragon Quest series, including those adorable slimes to even huge beasts, all while exploring the realms of different areas. From volcano rivers, ruins, soaring towers, apparently a place with a giant cake, everything you would expect from the classic series. You also can get different monsters depending on the season, have monsters fight each other in arenas, and even combine monsters together to create even stronger ones. Become the best monster wrangler in the land as you build your army of cool creatures. This seems to be a nice combination of Pokemon and Persona in all the best places. In a world where Pokemon has kind of been a letdown lately, it's so nice to see a game with a similar formula done better, or at least hopefully done better. I never grew up with Dragon Quest, still haven't played a game to this day, although 11 is on my list, but it looks like a decent spin-off that fans will enjoy, similar to Treasures and Builders. Combined with all the things you can do with said monsters, the strategy and customization of each monster you can capture, and the competent story to boot, it sounds like something both fans and newcomers would enjoy. Get your monster wrangling on in Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince on December 1st. Ever wanted an RPG starring everyone's favorite sandwich ingredient? I know I do. Born of Bread. I am a huge fan of RPGs similar to Paper Mario, and Born of Bread scratches all the right itches. Evil beings from another age are wreaking havoc on the land, and it's up to a golem literally born of bread named Loaf to team up with friends and stop all evil. Fight in this RPG with timed button mechanics to put your reflexes to the test, and pull off incredible looking moves. Meet a bunch of colorful characters to help you on your quest, and fight all sorts of fun looking enemies in this new indie game. Each party member has their own distinct abilities and way of fighting, making the combat much more enjoyable and full of variety. Work together in this fun world and bake off a plan to save the world. I love me a good RPG, and Born of Bread looks adorable, fun, and like a good time. The dialogue seems witty based on the trailers, and for fans of any modern RPG, I feel like this is one people are going to want to try out and give a shot. I've heard about this game on and off for a while, and I'm really glad to see it finally come to the Switch. There's even a chat with a fake audience during combat, as if you're like streaming the fights live, so you get to see funny text while you're fighting. It's really cool and makes the streamer inside me happy. This seems like a great RPG that's sure to fill your time if you finished Mario RPG and are waiting for the Thousand Year Door remake. Born of Bread is out of the oven on December 5th. Want a platformer with some hills, a good story, and some fantastic views of Scotland? Why don't you try a Highland Song? This was featured in the latest Indie World Direct, and I was immediately hyped for a Highland Song. You play as Moira, who is running away, and must cross the mountains to reach a lighthouse at the end of the sea. Platform from mountain to mountain, scaling peaks, going through caves, surviving the harsh cold, rain, and windy weather, all while dealing with dangerous wildlife enemies. The game features breathtaking visuals, hidden secrets, lore and mythology hidden in the mountains, and a beautiful soundtrack that fits the Scottish lands. This game looks beautiful and feels like a game that is full of emotion, detail, and just an overall enjoyable atmosphere. It kind of gives me Journey vibes, if that makes any sense, only I imagine it has a lot to do with Scottish culture. The narrative seems compelling, and I'm really excited to experience exploring these mountains and seeing why our protagonist has to go to that lighthouse. I mean, there must be a reason she's doing all this, right? It seems like a very harsh and difficult journey that is going to be rewarding in the end. And I really want to give it a shot, and I hope you all do too. Climb the tallest mountain in a Highland Song out on December 5th. A long-awaited game is finally coming out on the Nintendo Switch. Outer Wilds Archaeologist Edition. Time to explore some space! In Outer Wilds, you're a new recruit who finds a solar system trapped in a time loop, and you must explore each planet to see the secrets of what is truly going on. You must visit locations like underground cities or planet surfaces that are about to crumble, all locations usually guarded by some hazardous environment that you must be careful treading. But at the same time, you must search as much as you can every nook and cranny of this solar system with special gadgets to look for signals, find any sign of life, doing everything you can to find out every hidden mystery beyond the sun, while toasting a marshmallow or two along the way. This game looks like something you can get lost in. And I mean really sink your teeth into, spend hours and hours exploring space. I never got a chance to play it, so I know nothing about it other than the description on the eShop page. And I kinda want it to stay like that for a while. I'm told it's one of those games that you should play without knowing anything else. Everything seems mysterious and fun to explore, and it's one of those games you want to experience yourself from beginning to end. And it's finally coming to Nintendo Switch, not just this month, but there's also a physical version coming out in 2024. Gonna add that to my collection. Again, it's one of those games that you need to try yourself, and I'm probably gonna give a shot once the physical comes out. So if this piques your interest and exploring space sounds fun, give it a try yourself. Feel free to explore every corner of the solar system in Outer Wilds Archaeologist Edition on December 7th. And finally, we started with a Pokemon-like game, and now we're ending with Pokemon, the real one this time. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the Indigo Disc. Part 2 of the Pokemon DLC finally releases. You study abroad at the Blueberry Academy, specifically studying Pokemon battling in an undersea bubble terranium, kinda like Sandy's Tree Dome, only with fighting monsters inside. Like the last DLC, it has new exclusive Pokemon, some cool new legendaries, a new Elite Four, and trainers for you to challenge. You even have a lot of new starters from previous Pokemon games you can now add to your team, just to tease you with that bit of nostalgia. It's a new area to explore with your copy of Scarlet and Violet. If I'm being completely honest with this one, like the last Pokemon DLC, I really don't have much interest with this one. I get why Pokemon fans are looking forward to it. But like I said, when I covered the Teal Mask when that was released, it's hard to get excited about a game when the original is still a glitchy mess. The original product I paid for still runs terribly, so I personally don't want to buy more DLC for an unfinished game. But hey, that's personally me. I know people who are going to get this game day one, especially for those Gen 5 starters. So if you're a Pokemon fan who wants to get it, go get it. I just know personally I can't vouch for it unless I plan to make a video about the entire game, which could happen. Let me know if you want to see that in the comments below. If you're excited for the latest in Pokemon, get ready for the undersea battles in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Part 2, the Indigo Disc, on December 14th. And there you have it, 5 new games coming to Nintendo Switch in December. Honestly, not the biggest release window when it comes to new Switch games, but it's the end of the year, so it makes sense that a lot of games... Honestly, not the biggest amount of releases on Switch this month, but that makes sense. It's the end of the year, closer to Christmas. We're winding down a bit with Switch releases and getting ready for stuff in 2024. But hey, these are 5 new games you might want to try out, or some you may not have even heard of, so here's hoping you found a new game to try before the year's end. Are you excited for any of these Switch games? Are there some games I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button, and stay tuned for more videos!